Hey everybody, welcome in to the Locked on Pickleball presentation of Major League Pickleball pregame show. We are going inside the Gary V Pro Pickleball team. And let's take a look around here. We've got several special guests coming to you. This is going to be mostly an audio only presentation, but I just wanted to let you know that we are presented by ZiaZensations. ZiaZensations right here for all of your essential oils. Make sure you get ZiaZensations here. Smell that aroma. Can you smell that aroma? This is your host Randy, baby, coming to you live from ZiaZensations.
I want one of those.
Pickleball Focus to get on here in just a minute. Are you there, Pickleball Focus?
I am. I want one of those.
You want one of these?
That's pretty zenned out right there.
We're gonna invite Real Clear Stats on here, and we have waiting in the wings. Do you know who we have waiting in the wings here for us?
I don't know.
Any guesses? We have a special guest coming.
From ZiaZensations?
Not from ZiaZensations. We're going to try to get ZiaZensations on here, but we also have a special guest. He's a funny guy. I've talked to you about him before.
Oh, you got the pickleball comedian coming on?
The pickleball comedian.
Okay. Let's do it.
Have you ever seen this guy?
I
Pickleball
haven't.
comedian?
No. I meant to go look him up.
I know. I cannot believe it. Let's see. I invited Real Clear Stats here. Let me just show you a little bit. Essential oils. Can you read that? Are you able to read that there?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Lamont. Here, go ahead for our listeners here. Oh, hold on. Introduce yourself first, Pickleball Focus.
I'm Pickleball Focus, aka Brady.
What do you
Not the other way around.
Tell me about your love for pickleball.
I mean, I do love me some pickleball, Randy. So, used to play in the mid '80s in Bellevue, Washington, and then stopped for about 30 years or more. I don't know. And now I'm fully immersed. I'm at one with the sport, just like that diffuser or whatever it is we're looking at right now.
Oh my gosh. You know what that is? You know
Is
that's
that
a diffuser?
Is that what it is?
Well, yes, I think so. Let me get Rachel over here. Rachel. Hey, wait till you get a load of this girl, Rachel. We're just going to have her say hi real quick because we did not pay for the rights to show her for very long.
Hey,
say hi, Rachel.
Hi.
Say hi to Pickleball.
Hey, Pickleball Focus.
How we doing, Rachel?
Say hi to Real Clear Stats.
Hey, Clear Stats.
Come over here. Tell us what we're looking at here. This thing right here.
These are some of our diffusers. This is one of our most popular diffusers here. It's the Flame. It's just vapor when you put essential oils to have your room being naturally aromatized. It absolutely creates a beautiful ambiance. And this is a fairy diffuser. We have many diffusers here in the store. Something for everybody.
Okay. And can you walk us through? Go ahead. You have a question there?
No question. I think I'm just gonna skip the pickleball match and watch that diffuser for the next 2 hours.
Now, Pickleball Focus knows what a diffuser is. I have no idea what a diffuser is. Can you break it down for the inept of us here?
Well, it is water that is put into a vapor, and you put different aromas in it so that you can have a nice scent in your home. It's the most natural way to aromatize. It's healthy. We have, of course, with essential oils, each oil has different properties for healing, for relaxation, for, invigorizing you. And so, yeah, it helps in many ways. And make sure your space smell very nice.
Oh, can I just say your space smells very nice right now?
That's because we're using our beautiful blend called Serenity, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's fresh and it's relaxing.
You are fresh and relaxing. I love your voice here.
That's very nice.
Pickleball Focus. Don't you love the voice?
I do.
Can
I
you
like
walk
the
us over to? So see, I thought these were more like car fresheners. Tell us what we're looking at as we walk over to the car fresheners here, real quick.
We have our bracelets and our necklaces that are great price. They're great for stocking stuffers for youth and adults alike.
Look, we've got customers coming in already.
Absolutely, yeah.
Let's just walk over here and show us the. Okay, Pickleball Focus.
Yeah.
You know it as a diffuser. I know it as a car freshener, but we have some car diffusers here, and there's one special one that Joe and I have been talking about. Any ideas what that might be, Rachel?
I have a great idea. It's the pickleball one.
Pickleball Focus, can you believe this?
Look at this.
They have got a pickleball diffuser.
That is just so on the cutting edge. It's just hard to even fathom.
What do they do with this? Can you pull it out?
Of course.
Hold on, Pickleball Focus. What before Rachel tells us, the lovely Rachel, can you tell us what you think you do with this thing? Pickleball Focus?
I mean, it probably goes in the diffuser. There's a scent in there, right?
And where do you put this thing?
So it opens up like a locket, and you can change out the pad for different aromas, or if you want it to, match a certain decor, you put essential oils on it, and then you just slide that baby in your vent. And then
in your car vent.
Yeah, and you can customize your own scent. You're not stuck with, the trees, and then you can keep it. It has a nice little, personalized diffuser there.
Very good. Hey, thank you very much. We'll let you get to your clients here. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a phone with Instagram on it?
I do.
I need to check if our other guest is on waiting. So could you let me borrow that real quick?
Of course, yeah.
And if you could, actually, we're going to do this live here. Look at this. Look up Pickleball Comedian.
Pickleball Comedian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, have you liked Randy Baby and Pickleball Focus yet?
I haven't.
Okay, well, we'll do that live here. Pickleball Focus, do you think that this is something that you would put into your car?
Actually, I probably would.
Altogether.
So
Pickleball Comedian.
How close is this store to the pickleball club?
Altogether.
Okay.
Take the space out.
Oh, I didn't realize I've done that. Thank you.
So there's
right
Club
there.
Pickleball
Okay.
USA and Lamont Ferguson. Okay, so here's the Pickleball Comedian. We're going to see if we can invite him in here. Oh, we have a request to join here. Accept. Oh, hey, Real Clear Stats is joining us. Hey, Eric Monson. Hey, Rolf. Hey, Coach Mont. Hey, R Brown PTC. Let me get the spelling of this guy's name here. Lamont. Lamont. Ferg. I feel like I'm in the Mickey Mouse Club right here. USON. Oh, I know what's going on. Can you message him for me, please? Tell him to like at Randy Baby so that I can invite him in. Say, hi, this is at Randy Baby's assistant. Hey, what would you pay to have an assistant like this?
Randy Baby.
You can't-
At RAAA NDY Baby. AAA. One more A.
Three. You did say triple. I apologize.
Oh, that's okay. Hey, have you ever had a woman this beautiful apologize to you? BABY. Assistant. Oh.
I don't need to do that. Let's see.
No, not his ass. Oh, yeah, okay, his assistant.
Oh, my goodness. You're keeping me on my toes today.
Well, if I don't keep you on your toes, never mind. This is a family show. Can you please like at Randy Baby so he can invite you in? He's on a live stream and can't ask you himself. Okay, go ahead and type that out. We'll see what happens here. Hey, at Real Clear Stats, we see you in here.
Yeah, how's it going, guys? Excited for the day.
Good, yeah, for sure.
We're excited to have you in here. Real Clear Stats, for everybody who doesn't know, has been doing an incredible job of focusing on the analytics, the data, the inside numbers that support what we see on the court. Real Clear Stats. Do you know what a diffuser is?
I've heard of them, yes. I think it diffuses something.
Okay, have you heard of a car air freshener?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, that's what this is. and they have, look at this, a pickleball diffuser, which
Oh,
goes
wait, hold that
into
up
your.
That's
again.
amazing.
Hold on.
Yeah.
The first time you held that up, I couldn't see that the paddles were actually on there. I thought it was like, oh, I see now. Oh,
Oh,
okay,
it.
that's well, I couldn't see that the first time. I thought like, oh, it's a ball. It
Well,
has
I
holes in
understand.
it.
Hey,
Now I see.
when I walked into the store and saw Rachel, I couldn't. The whole store disappeared. I couldn't see anything either. It was like in one of those movies, and she just was like, "Wowzers!" So here it is. You've got the pickleball paddles right there, and let me just tell you, ZiaZensations. If you go into their stories and look, they have. It looks like they've copied and pasted a sticker of a pickleball paddle instead of having the little ping pong emoji in our stories. We're gonna have to ask them how they did that.
What's up?
Okay,
Amazing.
so at real clear stats. You see this here? Hey, what do you think of my manicure? Just cut my nails before I got on the
All
air
right,
here.
all right, all
You have very straight teeth.
What's that?
right.
You must have very straight teeth to
Yeah.
do a job like that.
Hey, I like that.
Valid
Oh, real clear
point.
stats. Real clear stats going for the title of pickleball comedian here before we can get the pickleball comedian even in here. Did you say hi to your guests?
Oh, they actually left before I was able to.
Oh no! Don't tell Joe that. Okay.
I want to
Okay.
know how close Zia
What?
Sensations is to the pickleball club.
Oh, Club Pickleball USA is right down the road. There's a main drag here called State Street, runs right up the heart of downtown Salt Lake from the burbs, as we like to say, and it's about 1.5 miles.
So there should be like a meditation room, and it's just for pickleball players, and they come there before they go to get in the right state of mind. They use the pickleball diffuser in said room, and then they move on to their game.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And you and what we're working on with Joe, the owner, is something that allows you to focus when you're playing pickleball. So let's walk over to the essential oils, and then we're going to get into this inside the Gary V Pro Pickleball team here. Real clear stats. Are you excited? You've done a lot of work here with me, getting some inside analysis ready for the Gary V Pro Pickleball talk here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. It's there's a lot of great matchups coming here, and it's kind of neat to see these teams at this critical moment facing each other when, we have really good, clear, huge sample size of data, about twice as much as we got all of last year on all these teams and players, and it's really interesting, and we're excited to be working with half of the teams in Orlando to give them competitive insights and analysis. And so we've been busy this week and really excited to see how it plays out and expecting a high level and
Well,
some upsets.
congratulations on picking up. What do you say? Half the league now is what can we call them clients yet?
Half the teams in Orlando that are competing this weekend.
Well, half the teams that are. Oh, so that's Challenger and
Yeah,
Premier, right?
two in each. Yes.
That's impressive.
And I would
Yeah.
say, Focus, would you agree with me that these kind of stats are essential to pickleball insight?
Apparently. So yeah. So you know how some people say, "Well, I'm not like a stats guy," or quote unquote, or whatever. Or this time of year, throw the stats out the window. Like I'm not so sure, right? So stats matter. It's being proven again and again that analytics are an integral part of sports society these days.
But it's there. Yeah. Okay, hey,
So
I, here's a little shot of Rachel. Well, turn your head away. We have not paid enough to show you her face yet, but look at this lovely hair here. My goodness.
that is
Okay.
nice.
Now, she's going to come over here and talk to us. Just like stats are essential to surviving in the pro pickleball landscape, what can you tell us about essential oils, Rachel?
Essential oils are a natural way to aromatize and to have health benefits, therapeutic benefits. Our essential oils are grade. We have beautiful blends that help with migraines to get rid of them. We have ones for relaxing.
Show us your top three. What are
Oh,
maybe your top three here?
It's
the
got to be
Serenity Blend.
peppermint.
Serenity pickleball focus. You need some serenity in your life.
It's beautiful. It's lemon, lime, orange, lavender, ylang ylang, and rosemary. It's very uplifting but relaxing at the same time. It's fresh and it's just a beautiful blend.
Very good.
Just
And
so you,
what is that?
just so you know, Randy, I am familiar with Lang Lang, and I'm also familiar with frankincense.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay. Go ahead. What's your second blend here that you guys like?
We really, so we do blends. Our Migraine Away is a huge seller. I actually use this one myself.
Migraine Away.
Yeah, it's a beautiful. It has, of course, you've got your peppermint. You were right about that. And it's, it's got Spanish sage, cardamom, ginger, and sweet fennel. And
Nice.
it's a beautiful oil to just, put. You can either diffuse it or you can put it in a carrier oil, put it on your temples, your wrists, behind your ears, and help get rid of those headaches.
Hey, I've just solved the headache of mine here too, because we want to welcome to the show here, pickleball comedian Lamont Ferguson. What is up? He's in the house here.
What is happening? What is happening? It's there's a lot of electronic things, a lot of technology going on here to get you to join this while I'm in the middle of the ocean.
Yes. So thank you. Now we're going to be doing audio only radio style broadcast here, but feel free to click in and out of that. You have probably the best looking mug of all of us, except for Rachel here. So this is Rachel. But here, let me introduce you. We've only been able to secure the rights to show her feet, her frock, and her lovely hair here. Oh, look at this big smile. Oh, I can't show you the big smile. Oh, there it is. We got a little bit of it right there. Pickleball comedian. What do you know about
all of those features will still make a fortune on the internet.
Yes, we're going to start an OnlyFans Essential Oils page here shortly. All right, we're going to get into some inside analysis, pickleball talk here. Pickleball comedian is going to jump in. We got essential oils going on. Before we dig into the Gary V Pro pickleball scene here, though, Lamont. Should I call you Lamont or pickleball
Lamont,
comedian?
It's fine. Lamont is fine. Either one. Lamont, but Lamont's the name, so that's fine. Either one.
Lamont, I came across you in the underbelly of the internet because pickleball comedian just jumped right out at me and grabbed me by the throat, just like pickleball did several years ago. Talk to me about the pickleball comedian. Just your brief intro here. You're on a cruise ship.
I am on a cruise ship. We are all done. We are headed back to San Juan, Puerto Rico, and I'll be done. We'll dump all the people out, including myself. I'll head home for a couple of weeks and then back out to another ship. But yeah, this is the life as an actual working comedian. That I picked the moniker as pickleball comedian, not to be that I'm funny, doing funny videos in pickleball, just that's my job, and I happen to be, as we all are, obsessed with pickleball.
Well, I want you to know, Pickleball Focus already said he's like, pickleball comedian. How is he the pickleball comedian? What's he doing? Making fun of pickleball? And I think we're going to have a show where people come for the crown of pickleball comedian. So your handle will be up for grabs. Whoever wins the and we can do this on the cruise ship, right? We can do this in the main hall.
I don't know if his handle's up for grabs, but he can issue the winner.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
We're going to have a here. How do you feel about Pickleball Focus coming for the crown when he hasn't even met you?
I'm not coming from the crown.
I say I welcome all challengers. All challengers for the crown of pickleball comedian.
Let me introduce Ben to you, who's just next to you right there from Real Clear Stats. Ben, say hello to the pickleball comedian.
Hey, it's nice to meet you. And it's amazing you're on a cruise ship right now. That's pretty awesome.
That is fascinating.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, and just finished up the session of pickleball for today. A nice, if you total it up, a good solid 3.5 hour run of pickleball on the ship. So yeah, pleasure to meet you as well, Ben.
All right, so give us a real quick recap. How did you get into pickleball? And then have you been able to introduce it into the cruise ship ecosystem?
Well, here's the thing. They kind of go hand in hand because of the fact that about 6 years ago, I started working on ships. I'm a comic. I've done it for 42 years is how long I've done stand-up's been my job. And
42.
I come from a basket. Go ahead. Yeah, 42 years. I started when I was 17 years old. So 42 years been doing stand-up. And I come from a basketball background. So when I would be on ships, my daily workout was just grab my basketball, go out to the court, and just do some drills. There's not a lot of people that are playing basketball on the ship. But these folks were in, because they occupy the same space. It's a multi-sport space that the pickleball, basketball occupy the same space on ships. And
Right.
I went up there, and these people were playing this game that I had no idea what it was. I'm like, what are they doing? They're taking up the entire time for being up here playing this game. And I keep going back down to my room, waiting for them to be done. Eventually, they said, "Hey, you keep coming up here. We are going to be here all day, but we'll teach you the game." And I kind of, because on that particular line of Holland America, they have videos. This is pre them having a partnership with the PPA. They would have videos on what the game was. So I'd watch those. So I had a cursory kind of general knowledge of the game. But I found the pickleball community to be the most welcoming community, the friendliest community. And after I was done playing, I was working up enough of a sweat as if I was up there playing my drills by myself. And that was it. I was hooked and been hooked ever since.
Very
Nice.
like the rest of the world, the courts that have been designated for something else on the cruise ship have come under attack by pickleball. And real clear stats. While we're waiting here, could you see if there's a way that you can share some of your graphics that we're going to be going over? We can screen share those. If you can be doing that in the background while we're talking to Lamont, the Mr. Pickleball comedian here.
I'll see
So
if there's a way, but not sure.
Yeah, I think you can screen share, but we'll get to that in just a minute. So Lamont,
Lamont,
on that?
real quick. So you work on the cruise ship that has a relationship with PPA?
Here's the thing about it, little known secret. So I work for a variety of cruise lines. I work for Holland America. I'm currently on Celebrity, and I also work for Princess, and I work for Crystal Cruises. But Holland America was the primary cruise for quite a while, for the first few years. And they were ahead of the curve because the best way to put it, Holland America is an older line, so older people were on the ship. So they were ahead of the curve for pickleball. All their ships have always had pickleball courts, regulation-sized pickleball courts on them. That's where I learned to play.
Wow.
I was on there one time, and I kind of would, anytime I'm on the ship, I'm kind of the organizer for the pickleball thing. You know, there's open play that's scheduled, and I'd be the one that's kind of getting it together. It just happened that one time the president of Holland America, Gus and Torcha, was on the ship.
Wow.
He had seen the show, and he saw me early in the morning out on the pickleball court. Now, what that meant is I'm out there because if you're going to Alaska or whatever it is that's going on, the court gets a little wet. So I'm out there drying the court, getting the court all ready for us to start playing. Not part of my duties or anything, but I have nothing else to do. So I'm out there on the court. He saw me, and he said, "Are you getting ready to work out?" And I said, "No." I said, "In an hour or so, this is going to be packed full of people about to play pickleball. So I'm just getting the court ready for us to play pickleball." And he said, "Is it really that big?" I said, "If you just hang out for an hour, it will look like people are sitting here at the U.S. Open," because that particular ship it's a center, the court's in the center of the ship, and they have, in essence, stadium seating. So there's people that are playing, lots of people that are playing, but there's also tons of people that are just watching. It's a nice little gathering spot. So he had talked to his people. They were all there, and he said, "Well, we've got a proposal on the table to have a partnership with the PPA. Maybe we should move that along." And I said, "Yeah, you probably should." And it was shortly after that Holland America now has a partnership with PPA. So the logo's on all the courts, and they've gotten a lot of the professionals to do videos for the people as far as instructional videos when you go onto the ship to see. Tyler Long, all of them, a lot of professionals have made the videos for it.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
Real clear stats. Have you ever been on a cruise ship before?
I have, yeah.
Where did
It
you
was
go? And did they have pickleball yet?
I don't think they had pickleball yet. It was 15 years ago, maybe. Galveston to Progresso to Cozumel. It was fun.
Here's the thing on Celebrity now. They are now all in on pickleball. I did an interview with one of the cruise directors a little while ago, but it's now moving forward. There is an instructor on this ship. They go out through an agency and get pro instructors to be on board, so they will be giving lessons to and coaching to people on board starting next week on this particular ship once I'm gone, that they will be doing that. And so they have open play scheduled on the schedule every day, but now the court will be dedicated to only pickleball from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. every single day.
So
Nice.
fight basketball?
Say that again?
We won't have to fight basketball?
There's only the kids are playing basketball. And as a basketball player, I see the people that play basketball, they need to stop.
Very good. Very good.
Is there,
All right, so we're
I had a quick question though. Do you think there's a good chance, given the success of pickleball and cruise ships, do you think there's a good chance we'll start seeing moving court services installed on fixed land to simulate the effect of ship listing?
You know, you really don't feel the movement of the ship. Today's a sea day, and it's a full day. I mean, we were playing from like 8:30 until just recently, and the ship on a sea day is moving so slowly. You're not affected by wind, nor you're affected by the movement of the ship. You really can't feel it. It's very rare, and if you could feel it, you shouldn't be up there playing, for the simple reason that most of the time wind is your factor. Court placement is your factor, and wind is the factor.
Gotcha.
And if it's too windy, then you're not going to play. But on a day like today, you'd have no idea that you were at sea.
Good for you. Love it.
Have you ever been playing and you knew you were at sea because you were now tilted 45 degrees to the left?
No, there's not a tilt. It is. I have a video at one point where you can see, if you do like almost like a stop action thing as you're passing land, you can see that the ship is actually moving. But for the most part, you don't sense the movement.
All right, let's get into some pro. Go ahead. Any more questions from our panel here? Pickleball Focus?
Well, I got one more question. Is that a pickleball hat? Slam Diego? I like that. I used to live there for 11 years.
It is. No, it's not a pickleball hat. I do have a pickleball hat somewhere, but it's probably drying off from the sweat. This is a Padre hat. And where'd you live in? I grew up in San Diego.
Oh, I was in, well, first when we moved there, we were in University Town Center, but that was like 1988, so it was a lot quieter.
Yes.
And then I lived up there in Del Mar Heights, used to rent a place with some buddies. And, when we first got there, it was my dad and my brother. But yeah, I still got, if I get back over there, Ann, we'll get this pickleball going.
Nice. Yeah, I grew up there, went to high school out in the East County in El Cajon, and went to San Diego State. And
Nice.
I was there for quite a while until moving out to where I am in Southern California, in Lakewood, California now. So,
The Cajon Zone.
the Cajon Zone, man.
Nice.
So we're going to get into some pro pickleball talk here. Lamont, you said you've been following some of this pro pickleball league. We'll get to that in just a minute. And before he leaves, he has a very interesting story. Lamont, are we able to tell the Jay Leno story here at the end of this sign-off story?
Yeah, I
Okay.
believe it's fine.
Yeah, okay. So pickleball focus, it looks like you're getting some buffering here, just so you know, on the live cast. So if you can tilt your head to the left and stick your right foot out and do some sort of yoga pose so you can get your internet connection going here. We're going to come back to real clear stats. Lamont, are you familiar with Gary V. Vaynerchuk?
I am not.
Pickleball focus, are you familiar with Gary Vaynerchuk?
I am.
He follows you. Gary Vaynerchuk is a tech investor, and he's one of the owners of the pro pickleball teams that we're going to be talking about today, the Fives Pickleball. Real clear stats. Are you familiar with Gary Vaynerchuk?
Of course, Gary V.
Oh, hey, let's take a little break here and let's acknowledge pickleball comedian. You can look. Hey Shay Pickleball has joined us. She is a legend, or
He is
I don't know which,
legend.
on Twitter, and somehow we've gotten into the Hey Shay world right there. Hey, Shay, how are you? And we'll leave that out there for her. I waved at her. Hey, Shay.
I'll tell you why she's here, because she loves Augie so much. She's here to be the anti-five.
Oh, she's the anti-five? Okay.
Well, I'm not saying she's the anti-five, but she loves her some Augie. And I do too.
Okay. So we're going to get into some stats here. Lamont, we're going to come back to you. Feel free to chime in anytime. I want to know what you think about there being actual stats in the sport of pickleball here. Okay, so let's go over our contestants for today. We're starting with the Texas Ranchers and the Fives Pickleball Club. Real clear stats. The Fives, that's semi number one. Semi number two, we have the Dallas Flash against the St. Louis Shock as well. So we're going to start with the first matchup here. And I'm going to take a break from videoing here for just a second. So tell me about
hold on.
Oh.
I just got to know. Sorry. I just got to know before we move. Lamont, are any of your jokes integrated into pickleball? And I'm not asking you to tell one yet, but like, are there pickleball based jokes in your stand up routine?
Here's the thing about it. That's a great question. Here's the thing about
I
it.
just wanted to get that off my head before I forgot.
That is one of the questions that most people would ask about it. I am serious about my sport, so it's not a point where I make fun of it. It took a while, and I will tell you the joke. It took a while before me to actually have a pickleball joke, because a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of pickleball community." Go, "Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of jokes." Well, here's how it works. I'm not talking to pickleball people. I'm talking to a smattering of pickleball people. The jokes I would tell that would be funny to the pickleball community are only funny to those people. And let's be honest, there's about 4 jokes. That's all there is. It's the whole kitchen thing. It's about 4 jokes. That's all there is. You can't remember the score. And blah, blah, blah. 4 jokes total. It took a while, and then I finally found, I go, that's the one I like. So it's a joke that I kind of open with now about saying that I do play pickleball. I have been indoctrinated into the pickleball cult, and people find us annoying because we won't stop talking about pickleball. As a matter of fact, if you were to rank groups that people find annoying because they won't stop talking about things that they love, pickleball sits right underneath vegans and just ahead of people who use air fryers. And that is the joke. And that is the joke. I'm like, that's solid. That works. So that's the joke.
That is solid.
Real quick, can you address Pickleball Focus's concern that you're here to make fun of pickleball and denigrate us?
That's not what I said. Come on, man. No.
Not at all. Not at all. I am deep in. I'm a huge proponent of pickleball. Don't make fun of it at all. Gets people active. It's fantastic. Nothing about it.
Yeah, okay. All right. Ben, from Real Clear Stats, how in the world did the Fives end up as the top team when they had the softest? Well, I know the answer. How in the world did the Fives end up in the top spot?
Yeah, I mean, you could make a strong case that it was kind of a little bit of a softer schedule because they did face their other 3 teams that are in the semifinals. They only faced them, I believe, 4 times, while those other 3 teams faced each other 7 or 8 times, which is more typical. So the schedule was a little interesting this year, and it just so happened that the Fives had a slightly softer schedule, but they've really turned into a juggernaut, and so I think they could have competed for the number 1 slot, but over the course of the season, I think there's a good chance with a really even schedule that they would have ended up at number 2 to St. Louis, because they just barely got that top spot, I think, by 3 points, 2 points.
Right. So, Lamont, just so you know, the Fives, they had the top spot. They were able to pick their opponent from the next 2. So the first 2 spots were solidified. They got a bye into the semifinal. The Fives then got the other 2 contestants, which were the Ranchers and Dallas. And Real Clear Stats, I don't know if you have these handy. We'll talk about this. Do you know
You
what
guys have that static? Do you hear that static or whatever that is, that echo?
Yes, I do.
It's probably feedback from somebody's device.
Yep. So let's see if that adjusts itself here. real clear stats. Do we have the head-to-head? I think you gave me a head-to-head graphic. And can you talk about the head-to-head between these teams?
Yeah, let me find that. I
So
don't
it's
even know where I
really
dropped
interesting
that.
because the fives, this is Gary V's team. So we're going inside the Gary V pro pickleball team, Lamont,
Okay.
super marketer and tech guru, if you will. So the fives have been vying and jockeying for this position the whole year. They won what they call the mid-season tournament, even though it was only the second event of the year. It was the mid-season second event tournament of the year. They won that in a traditional tournament style, which the MLP had then done away with for this regular season. It gets a little confusing here. Stick with me though. So, and do you know what the mascot for the fives is, Lamont? It might be me. I don't know if that's me. I don't know why. Do you know what the mascot is, Lamont?
Isn't that a clown?
Yes, the clown. It's the
Well
competitive
done.
clown. And
Yeah.
in the Gary Vaynerchuk world, they call him Gary V. And there's a thing called V Friends, tying into Gary V. And so the V Friends have all these different, positive superheroes, if you will. And
Ah.
the clown is one of them, and he's called the competitive clown. What's the Pelican one there, Pickleball Focus?
I don't know what the Pelican is. I know what Focused Falcon.
The Falcon, that's the one. Focused Falcon. They have the Notorious Ninja, things of this ilk. And
The clown.
so,
The clown's got to be pretty intimidating. Because do you remember about 4 or 5 years ago when we had a rash of clown sightings?
do I
Uh,
ever? Yes.
who knew that clowns were going to be a thing? I think it's pretty intimidating. I like it. I see where we're going with that. If
Yes.
if you're in a group of people and all of a sudden a clown walked in, that room would clear. An unannounced clown? Yes, this room was clear.
So the clowns, the five, they lost to the Dallas team. So they could choose between Texas and Dallas. They lost to the Dallas team in the Salt Lake City event, kind of right after the mid-season second event. So I'll really call the Salt Lake kind of like the midpoint. They then beat the Ranchers twice, once in Salt Lake, and then they squeaked by them in Vegas. So real clear stats. Have you come with those head-to-head stats you shared with me earlier?
Yeah, I can pull them up. Yeah, the fives. They squeaked by them in both places actually
Salt
in
Lake?
Salt Lake and in Las Vegas. They won in a Dream Breaker, I think 20 to 22, 20 to 22 to 20. It was tied at 20 in the Dream Breaker, and Anna Lee Waters won the last 2 points, and they won that match. And then in Las Vegas, they had some really close matches. They were unfortunately the Rangers had Christian Alshon was out, their top pick, and instead they had Anderson Scarpa in. But Scarpa played pretty well, and Scarpa almost took down Anna Lee Waters. They lost 25 to 23, which would have sent it to a Dream Breaker there. So the fives have only played the top four teams 4 times. One of those 4 times was the Texas Rangers without Christian Alshon. So they kind of haven't really faced the very best competition a lot, but they're super confident, and having the advantage of the number 1 seed, they get to pick all of the coin flip. They win all the coin flip decisions. So they have a huge that could be that could be the difference maker in a
Yeah.
finals versus the Shock, or even in a match versus the Rangers. If you look at the fives,
Hey, hold on. Pause right there for just a minute, Ben. Let me try something for this feedback. Lamont and Pickleball Focus and Ben, if you can all look at your screens, there's a microphone right there. And just one at a time here. Hold on just a second. Lamont, can you push your microphone on mute for just a minute? I want to see if that does anything. We're going to be producing live on the air right here. A minute. Okay, that seems.
yeah, I think he was on speakerphone, and the feedback was coming probably from that.
Okay, yeah, great. So
I'm
Lamont,
using headphones, so it doesn't happen.
just be aware of that, Lamont. So we'll come back to you whenever you have something to say. Just turn your mic on, and then when you're done talking, just turn it off, and then that way we can hear Ben and Pickleball Focus and all of their insightful knowledge here. Let me just interject with what Ben was saying. So, Lamont, are you familiar with the MLP format as far as they have 4 games in one match, and if you're tied with those games, instead of a tiebreaker, they call it the dream breaker. Were you familiar with that? Your mic. Your mic.
Yeah, I am familiar with that.
Okay, great. So go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, so the interesting point too is the Ranchers started out the season with Pablo Tellez as their kind of fourth pick, and then they were missing Christian Alshon at two events through the year, and also they picked up Kwang Duong partway through the year, who's been a big addition to them. When they have their four players that they're playing with in the competing with this week, when they have those four players in, their average points per match, so you can earn 0 to 3 points every match, they're averaging, I believe, 2.4 points per match.
Nice.
The Fives had all their players at all events, as far as I understand, and they averaged 2.35 points per match with a definitely softer schedule than the Ranchers had. So it is interesting. The Ranchers are the 4 seed, the Fives are the 1 seed. They have those advantages, but this one might be kind of more of a coin flip based on, if we just kind of look at the power of the lineups that are facing each other today. And so that's the one I'm really interested in. I mean, Shock versus Flash is also going to be a battle as well. So I'll be curious to see that one too. They're very evenly matched. At the premier level, these 4 teams I think have been the clear top 4 teams all season with these lineups, and so it's just going to be really exciting to see who wants it more, who performs and executes, or who is playing the smartest. That makes the difference.
Do we have an update on health-wise, like Kwang Duong's health? Do we know what that is going in?
I like that, Lamont.
I haven't heard an update on that personally, but he's going to go, I'm pretty sure. And I think he's really engaged with the team, and I think he's going to do his very best.
Do you guys remember at the beginning of the year when the Ranchers picked up Duong off waivers but they paid up, or what was it? What was it, Ben? They got him. They paid $100,000 to get him, and I
I
think they
believe
caught
so,
a lot
yeah.
of flack for that. But it just showed you, like, okay, this team is willing to roll the dice. Like, these guys are taking this shit seriously, and here we are, and it's paid off.
Yeah,
But
you have to swing for the fences. That pick, I wasn't sure about it either, but I didn't really hear about it until I was watching them play in DC, I believe it was. He was playing with Kwong or with Tejas at the time in men's. But it was so clear to me how crisp his shots were, especially in mixed. He was just taking over. And then if it's just kind of, if they can survive and squeeze out some wins in men's, which they have done, then he's almost like it's hard to say that. I mean, he's definitely not as good as Christian Alshon yet in mixed, but he is just a game wrecker. I think in the MLP format, and he's amazing at singles as well. So
yeah,
it was a huge pickup to notice the right time to get him, and it's kind of a shock that he didn't somehow end up in Challenger at the beginning of the year, which he would have been kind of locked into Challenger. Probably maybe there would have been a trade that he could have gotten promoted, but and that's another topic we could talk about is the difference between Challenger and Premier. We had a lot of crossover this year, and it's really interesting that I have some thoughts about that too.
yeah.
Very good. So, Lamont, is this all coming back to you now? What
Yeah,
was
yeah, a little bit.
your
A little. Like I said, I started paying attention a little bit, but because of the schedule, it's hard to tune in here and there on it. But a little bit, I'm starting to pick up and get back into it.
So this is, in my opinion, this is the finals. Well, no, I can't say that. The winner of this has a good chance to. Let's see. So what I want to say here is the Fives have to defend their number 1 seed, and I think that they're in trouble because they had a weak schedule, and I think they're ripe for the upset right here. What say you, Pickleball Focus?
No, I don't think they're ripe for the upset at all. I watched Will Howes play this week for the first time in person out here at Nationals, and the guy has so much game, so much swag, and we've seen he's a gamer. He's a gamer. So I don't know if ripe for the upset is the right. Or do you mean in general, or do you mean ripe for an upset from Texas?
Ripe for an upset from Texas. And this is going to be a good point here. Ben, if you can get those stats ready for the fives men, we'll come to that in just a minute. Uh, they're ripe for an upset. Annalee, they're going to have to depend too much on Annalee. The men have been up and down all year, and I think it's interesting. Usually, there's a lead dog on each of these teams for the men and the women's teams. Annalee Waters is obviously the lead dog on the women's side, and maybe you could argue, without too much pushback, that she's the lead dog for the whole team. And Pickleball Focus is a Zane Navratil apologist, so this will be an interesting question for him. Who is the lead dog for the fives men? Is it your boy Zane or your new crush Will?
I mean,
Answer the question.
I, I think Will.
Whoa! Breaking
I think
news.
Zane is like the MLP king, but
Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa,
watching
whoa,
Will.
whoa, whoa. He is not the MLP king. Oh my gosh. Look what I have to deal with. You should have heard Pickleball Focus on last year's play-by-play and pregame. He's all over Jane. Look, see, I called him Jane. He's all over Jane's jock. He's all
I
over
am a
Zane's
big
jock.
Zane Navratil guy. The guy plays with passion. He loves the game. He's
But he's
like
not the
their
king.
whole.
I love the game. I'm not the king.
Okay, maybe I took it too far. The guy racks up titles though in MLP.
Yeah, but not okay. We know who the king is. Go ahead. So you're taking Will over Zane.
Okay, Ben's the king. Whatever. Wrong word. Whatever. So if you're asking me what, I don't even remember what the question was.
Who is the lead dog on the men for the fives? And then we're going to Ben with their scintillating record during the year. Go ahead.
I mean, Zane has a different type of attitude. So when you say who's the lead dog, like, I don't know. I just know that Will Howes has that same Hayden Patrickin thing going. And they just exude so much confidence. And when you look at them and the way they conduct themselves on the court, they give off this sense that they're going to win and they know they're going to win.
Very good. With that, Ben, can you please enlighten us with some
That
stats
that may have been
from
the
throughout
most
the year?
measured answer I've ever heard.
Thank you. Thank you, Lamont.
Well,
Pickleball Focus wants to come for the comedian's crown. Lamont's coming for the co-host crown. Let's go, Pickleball Focus. Let's go, Lamont.
He always tries to draw me into these opinions, Lamont, and I'm Sweden, man. I'm Sweden.
well, we have the fives on the season. The story for them, in my mind, is um, Mari and Will's development through the course of the year. And it's a credit to the player, to Mari and Will, but it's also a credit to Zane and Anna Lee and Lee Waters, as well as the organization that picked people that they were confident that they could level up. And MLP is the perfect place to level up because you don't just show up and play Ben and Anna Lee and get knocked out in the first round. You show up and you get all those games, and because you're the weaker player, supposedly, you're getting all the balls. You're getting all the attention. So Mari and Will got 56% of the hits on the fives this year. That's more than any other 3 and 4 pick combination in the MLP. And
Wow.
so they got incredible reps, and then they've got like two of the best minds in pickleball guiding them through that process on a franchise that's very engaged and interested and
Who are the
energetic.
two
And
best minds in pickleball? Hold on. Who are the two best minds in pickleball?
the two best minds in pickleball, I mean, everyone likes to talk about Colin Johns, but maybe they're less high on him now. But he definitely kind of coaches and helps bring up a lot of players, and they trust him. Um, you know, it's hard not to say Ben Johns, but I think Zane's got to be right up there. And then maybe if I picked one more, uh,
Wait, are you? So I just
um,
want to know who you were referring to when you said they have two of the best minds in pickleball. Are you talking about Zane and Anna Lee, or are you talking about Anna Lee and her mother, Mama Waters?
I'm talking about Zane and Lee and Lee.
Wait, so that's 3. 1, 2, 3.
No, he said
I'm
Lee.
counting them each
He
as a
meant
half.
Lee. Lee.
You're counting Mama Waters and Baby Goat as a half each?
Half each, yes.
I would.
Yeah.
Well, if you would have stuck with Mama Waters and Anna Lee as 2 of the best minds in pickleball, I would have agreed there. I'm not saying Zane's doesn't have a good mind. I mean, I don't know. I've never been inside his head. But go ahead. Sorry.
Two,
Well, yeah, we
to,
worked
to
with him last
reiterate,
season. So anyway,
to reiterate, 2 of the best minds are at least 5 people.
yes, I believe that's right.
This is the kind of clear and concise analysis you can get here on Locked On Pickleball, the Randy Baby Pickleball Show here with Pickleball Focus, Ben from Real Clear Stats, and the Pickleball Comedian.
But we know when we get off base, Ben can always take us back.
Yeah.
Ben can
I could
get us
try.
back on track. There's no way you just broke out a stat that said they got more balls hit to them than any 3 or 4 position
Pick,
players
yeah.
on every team. Like, that's masterful. Okay, continue,
Yeah.
Ben.
So the fives men specifically through the year, they started out the season 0-3. You might remember Zane was 0-6 in that first tournament in Atlanta, and Anna Bright was really enjoying that. And you'll remember Anna Bright and Zane were teammates on the Orlando Squeeze, their second season last year.
So she knew him
Arguably the
inside and out.
best team of the
Go
season.
ahead.
Yeah, no, just they're arguably the best team in the season. So they were really close and competed really hard on that team and had a lot of success together. And now here they are on the top 2 teams
Yeah.
this year, which is really interesting. But yeah, so 0-3 at the first event, and then the next 2 events, the midseason in Salt Lake, they won a third of their games. After that, in New York, Las Vegas, and Miami, they never were worse than 500. They won. Well, actually, yeah. And over those 3 events, they were 10-4. So that's a huge turnaround. And they won 80% of the games in New York and in Miami. And that's
The
part of
men?
why this Dreambreaker squad that's 6-0 in Dreambreakers hasn't been to a Dreambreaker very often lately.
Interesting.
The men, yes.
Okay.
The men were won 80% in New York and in
Now
Miami.
give
Las
the full
Vegas, they were 2-2.
give the full context of those stats. This goes hand in hand with why they finished number 1 for the season.
Yeah, that's what else is there to say about that? I mean, Will specifically has grown a lot statistically. He is if he gets a hit, he's winning rallies more often than any other player in men's. Every 12 hits, he
Really?
wins a rally.
Really?
He's also won, yes, over the course of the entire season. And of course, in order to do that lately, he's probably winning every 10 hits. He's winning a rally. So he's got really good aggression, really good power, and really he's improving his consistency quite a bit as well. But he started out with a lot of inconsistency. But that's kind of been resolved of late.
I think it's amazing what the Fives has done from a general manager perspective in the draft, picking up pieces to surround Anna Lee Waters. I mean, as hard as I am on Zane, he's a very strong, steady piece there. He's not going to be thrown to and fro in the waves of the regular season. Will has come along. Mari Humberg, who's from Brazil, she's really come along. So I think that the general management group there, Ryan Harwood, I don't know how much Gary V's involved. They're pulling puppet strings, but they should be given a lot of credit for looking into the tea leaves, if you will, and finding Mari and Will and pairing them with the rest of their team, not only to support Anna Lee, but to help them grow throughout the year. And the only question left is, are they ready for the limelight? Are they ready for the big spotlight of the semifinals and the finals? Pickleball Focus, I know what you're going to say to that. Ben, what do you say to that?
I'm going to say, yeah.
Pickleball Focus.
I mean, I'm curious to see how they perform with 250 fans in the stands instead of 175.
Go ahead.
At 95 makes a huge difference.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I was going to say real quick too. The Fives, I think I mean, you can give a lot. There's a lot of credit to go around. You go to each person and say why they deserve credit. I give a lot of credit to Anna Lee. We have the world best player in the world on the men's side, and we had, it was a little bit not a little sketchy how the information got out, but from through Colin, kind of it seems like they're not very engaged in MLP, and it's not fair because the best player in the world has to play with all these weaker players because they get drafted high, and then the team doesn't have money left, and all this kind of stuff. How about credit to Anna Lee Waters? From day one, she was very engaged, and she's won an insane amount in MLP this year. She's winning 93.8% of her games. I mean, that's insane. 45-3. She's lost 3 games this year.
Awesome.
I mean, that is unbelievable that she's managed that with Will and Mari. She's playing with both of them, as is Zane, of course, too. But yeah, that's really impressive. And I look at Zane and I think that you're absolutely right that the top dog is Will Howells right now on that men's squad. But that's also credit to Zane. And you could say the same about Christian Alshon, because Christian Alshon's playing the right, even though he prefers to play the left for Kwang Duong, because Kwang is more comfortable left. But that's a huge credit to them. Zane's not doesn't really care who if people think are the top dog. He wants to win championships.
Yep.
And so he's doing what's necessary for his team to win championships. And I have a lot of respect for that.
Zane seems to have a nice way about him too. So I could see him being the one that keeps the vibe loose. Like Will is so intense, Annalise so intense. Humberg seems real intense to me. Not that Zane's not intense, because he is, but he seems like. And Randy, we've talked about this too. This, I guess, goes to maybe potentially the next topic. These four literally take on the personality of that five's vibe. So I don't know whether they lose or whether they win. I don't know who they cut.
Wait, what's the five's vibe? We'll get to cutting in just a
Five's
second.
vibe is just confident. It's swag. It's loud. I mean, and this is one of their advantages. You say, okay, 250 people. Well, if 150 of them are in there rooting for the fives, when you get Harwood screaming it sounds like 700. And they use that to their advantage.
Are you saying Harwood has a big mouth? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying Major League Pickleball is an energy sport, and Ryan Harwood has the most energy.
You said if there's 250 people and then Harwood screaming, it sounds like 700.
It does.
Lamont,
Well,
hold on. Let me go to an unbiased. Let me go.
You know what I meant.
Let me go to somebody who's not Switzerland.
Lamont. The whole thing collectively.
Lamont, what did you hear?
Yeah, he did. He did say. Here's my assessment. Now, as I'm not a guy that watches it a lot, but I am a sports guy, and this is my analysis on it. Randy, you're right. I believe that they are ripe for the upset because of the fact that if they had a choice to pick and they chose to pick the team that they had beaten, granted one time without Christian Alshon, who you would say was the top player on that side. There's a thing about momentum. There's a thing about laws of averages. If you've just barely beat a team, you don't want to play that team because eventually that team is going to get you. Yes. The other thing is this. The focus that you're right. Zane is a different animal in MLP than he is in regular play. And so that does carry over. It is, if you were to look at it like you look at it on paper, you go, all right, they don't, the Ranchers would be favorite. Just look at paper, not think about anything else. But it becomes this. It's pickleball in MLP more because the sport itself is about momentum. We all know this. We know that we play momentum is a thing. So if, as the Pickle Set said, as you get better throughout the season, is that momentum carry you? To be able to where it doesn't matter who you play because you are continually getting better, or is it over the talent itself? Yeah, you can't deny Anna Lee Waters, but like you said, it's Anna Lee carrying it. It's Michael Jordan and the Jordanaires is what it is, as far as what it is. So you kind of look at it and say, is that what the case it's going to be?
Along those lines, I agree that there's to some degree that they could be upset, and I feel like what that upset will look like is they've spent all year battling the St. Louis Shock for the top spot in the standings, as you can see by going to our Instagram through all those posts of the standings. And so their eyes been kind of on the Shock and what can they get the number one seed or not? And you know, uh, now you go to the playoffs and maybe their eyes are still on the Shock, but here come the Ranchers who are hungry, and all of a sudden they find a way to upset Anna Lee in one of those games. They start feeling the pressure, or Anna Lee gets down. They get down and mixed, and Anna Lee starts pressing a little bit too much and kind of going off script. There's a lot of pressure on them because of the number one seed, and the Ranchers
True.
feel like they're being overlooked, and the fives are like, yeah, we can beat the Ranchers, but we'll pick them. And so there's bulletin board material there, and I think the Ranchers are really motivated. It'll be really interesting to see, and it's the teams are so even that you could definitely see either team winning, but we've got a team's going to have to win two matches to move on, and so it'll be really fun to watch.
That's a good point. Now you just told me, yeah. You just reminded me that the Ranchers basically have to beat the Fives twice. Nope. Nope.
2 out of 3. 2 out of 3. I think it's very possible. I think that Christian and Kwong have something to prove. If you remember in Vegas without Christian, they still pushed the replacement Scarpa. They pushed the Fives to 25-23, I believe, in 2 games. So while they won the match 3-1, they were still pushed. That match could have gone either way without the Ranchers' top dog there.
But it's Major League Pickleball, and all these matches are close. So who's clutch? Who's clutch? That's what it is. They're all clutch players.
That's because
but who's next level clutch? You just said Jordan and the Jordanaires. Somebody's going to have to take down Jordan.
I didn't say that. Lamont said that. How dare you?
And I like that. I like that.
Well, another question, in my opinion, is we're working with half the teams. I'm not going to name the teams, right now, but
will you name them in the future?
Yeah,
if you want,
of course. Right. Oh, no, probably, yeah.
Okay.
So, but you've got, and this season we have so much data, and sometimes it kind of doesn't. It's not very obvious how it makes a difference, but there are a lot of decisions teams look at. Who we're going to return to? Who do we want hitting third shots? We want the weakest player, the worst pattern for them hitting third shots. We can identify that, right? Because we have season full of data, and we can say, okay, when this person hits the third, they're more successful in those rallies than when this person hits the third. Or there's not a difference. You shouldn't target a player. That's one blind spot in pro sport right now, in my opinion, is every team, when they play, they have a strategy of who they're going to return to. And they don't really have a way of recognizing there's not a difference. We shouldn't let anybody get in a rhythm and let them get like 5 or 15 drop shots in a row that they can just hit the perfect drop shot every time. All these pros can do that. So unless there's a big enough reason to target someone, about a third of the time they shouldn't be targeting anybody. They should just be hitting the best return they possibly can, and making sure they put pressure on the third shot, whoever hits it. So anyway, all these shots are important pieces. I'll let you respond if you want to say.
We're coming up to the top of the hour here, Lamont.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time you have. I want to make sure we get in the Jay Leno story here too. How you got another couple minutes with us here, Lamont, or?
Yeah, I'm good. Where have I got to go? I'm at sea, for crying out loud.
Hey, Lamont, feel free to stick around with us for the next segment. We're going to be having 2 speakers from the Gary Vaynerchuk conference earlier this year, which is a big deal. It's called VCon. And hit your mute button in there again real quick. We've got 2 speakers going to be coming on in the next segment from VCon. One is David Meltzer, and the other is a Paralympic athlete who just retired from the sport of basketball. And I'm trying to drag him onto the pickleball court. So his name's Jeff Griffin. But let's any closing thoughts here. And I want to, while you guys think of your closing thoughts, I do want to mention, if Pickleball Focus is correct and the Fives do indeed advance, because he's going to take the favorite, I'll take the underdog. That's fine. They're going to have to. They're going to have to.
I'm not just doing it because of the favorite. Like, I'm an underdog kind of guy.
Hey, Sweden, give me a second here, Sweden. Come on. I don't need to hear you play both sides of the fence. I know you're on both sides of the fence. Okay, so
Who did
if indeed
Ben pick? Ben picked the fives.
he hasn't picked yet,
Oh,
give me a break here. Let me conduct this here. I'm trying to drive this ship,
okay.
so that we can play some pickleball here, and not be topsy turvy on the waves. Even though the ship doesn't go tops and turvies, but allegedly, I've seen those videos. Everybody's seen those videos on Instagram where they're like 45-degree angles back and forth. Come on, Lamont. All right, so
It's fake news. Fake news.
just want to remind you that Pickleball Focus will be at center court tomorrow. Riley Newman is going to be at center court. Pickleball Focus is going to see if he can squeeze in there, and then there's going to be some Q&A.
Hold on. Center court pickleball clubs in Scottsdale. I won't be center court at Major League Pickleball.
Yes, at
Yeah.
center court
Okay.
Pickleball in Scottsdale, Arizona. So
Yes,
just wanted
grand
to make a
opening.
mention of that. If indeed the Fives do get by, they have to face the St. Louis Shock and Ben from
Or the
Real
Dallas
Clear
Flash.
Stats. Oh yeah.
Oh, look at this subliminal pick.
Yes. Or the Dallas Flash, which is not going to likely to happen. So the St. Louis Shock will be waiting for them there. Anna Bright, Hayden Patrickin, and company. Let's go over how the Fives did against St. Louis in Salt Lake. Let's talk about that men's game, which I think falls into that beginning season category when Zane was 0-6. Any thoughts there, Pickleball Focus, before we get to Ben?
Wait,
On what?
because it sounds like we should be going right into Ben. But are you talking how St. Louis did against the Fives, or are we talking about St. Louis versus the Flash?
Versus the Fives, because I've already advanced them into the finals.
Really?
Yes.
What you're gonna play? Is Shea still in here? What you're gonna do that to Augie?
No, I didn't do it to Augie. The St. Louis Shock did it to Augie.
Real clear stats. Ben,
Bright
correct
did
me
it
if
to
I'm
Augie.
wrong.
Augie
Dallas
did it to
has
Augie.
beat them this year.
What's that?
Dallas has beat them this year. I'm not saying they're not going to win, but I mean,
Is that true? Real Clear Stats.
Yeah,
Has St. Louis lost to Dallas?
Dallas is 4-1. Is actually, let's see. Actually, I didn't. At one point, they were 4-1 against the other top four teams.
1-2 against the Shock, I believe. That's what Augie told me.
Yeah. Okay, so they must have finished something like 5-2. I believe they finished 5-2 against the top four teams. Yes, they went 1-1 versus the. Let me see what they went versus the Shock. I've got it right
While
here.
you're looking at that, when Dallas actually beat the Fives earlier, and when I was talking in our pre-production meeting with Real Clear Stats, the really interesting point there was about the firefights and how Hurricane Tyra Black and her great stroke, her beautiful swing path that Ben Johns loves, actually
All right.
she was on the winning side of rally-ending firefights. And I want you to
Yes.
explain this to me, Real Clear Stats. Her issue was on unforced errors and something called non-arrival rallies. Now, before you get into that, pickleball comedian, what is a non-arrival rally? That sounds like
Yeah,
a
I don't know.
Hurricane Black stroke if I've ever heard one.
I'm looking forward to find out what that is. That's
Oh
a
my.
different level of stats.
That is.
Non-arrival rallies, please.
Yeah. Which match was this that you're talking about? I'm trying to
In our
pull it up.
pre-production meeting that we were having.
I know. Unfortunately, I don't think I can look at that while we're on this.
Just how Tyra was on the winning end of firefights.
Against who?
Win over the Fives. And
Dallas win over the Fives. Okay, let me.
if you
Why
want,
can't I find that?
but
Yeah. You probably got. If you got it up and you can look at it, yeah. Tell me what you see there. But yeah, non-arrival rallies just means.
It sounds very hypothetical.
it sounds like Pickleball Folks' dating life in high school and college, the non-arrival, where he showed up to the dance. No, I'm sorry. That's more. I was just copying from my own biography. Go ahead.
Well, you're always trying to get to the kitchen line.
What is a non-arrival rally? Let's get this.
We're always, when we're serving, you have the disadvantage of being the last team that can try to get into the kitchen line. And we consider when you've got to the kitchen line, you've neutralized the rally. Well, why was it not neutral before? Well, you're at a big disadvantage when you're back at the baseline because you have such a small margin for error to hit that third shot, drop, or drive. and your opponents can have all these angles against you, right? So we separate all rallies into three buckets for individual players. Rallies where you're on the serving, the serving team gets to the kitchen, and that's now a neutralized kitchen rally. How often do you win those rallies? That's a really interesting stat. Winning teams almost always win kitchen rallies. It's kind of assumed then that in non-arrival rallies, the serving team is always at a disadvantage. The serving team will only win about a third of rallies if they don't arrive at the kitchen line. So
Wow.
some players and teams perform better than a third. Maybe they're winning 40% or 45%. Some players and teams perform worse than that. And that has a big impact on the complexion of the match. Even if they're able to win at the kitchen line, they might appear like they're the better team, but because they can't arrive at the kitchen or their opponents are able to keep them out, that's having a causal effect on the outcome of the game.
And so when the
I cannot wait to start using this in rec play. I'm going to be flooding the talk with non-arrival rally talk.
Yeah.
so
Mental warfare.
when Dallas beat the Fives, some of the notes from Real Clear Stats was that there was third shot errors from both players. There was a sequence of 4 unforced errors from Pickleball Focus's new boy Will in 7 rallies early in the game, and that was something that they could never ever overcome. And then also Hurricane played incredible, winning 4 firefights on the last shot, not losing one of them, and that was heads up to Annalie.
Oh yeah, I've got it here. Yeah. Yep.
And there's just one unforced error against them in 7 rally wins. So
Yeah, that was
Pickleball Focus.
Black and that was Hurricane and Augie versus Howells Waters. Yeah, that was one of those. I think they've lost like 2 or 3, or they lost 2 together. That was one of their losses. Another one of the Annalise losses was to the Shock ladies, which was interesting as well. I have the data up now.
We'll probably save that here for our next segment. Unless you have anything, I'm going to try to wrap up and get to the story here from Lamont, and then I'll come back to you if you have any interesting little notes here.
I feel like I threw a wrench into things, Randy, but I mean, you threw that. You put the Flash as an afterthought.
They are an afterthought. I'm sorry. They almost lost. They almost lost to the Hustlers. I mean, are you kidding me? They were down 1 match, and then they did turn it around and went undefeated against them.
Man, I feel like he's playing for the crowd. I can't. Hey, I can't.
Let's admit that the only reason that you're on the Dallas hype train here is because Augie was trained down there in your land in the desert in Arizona at Tuesday Night Pickleball.
I like me some Augie, man.
I know you do.
And who doesn't?
But you're the one that just got telling us how important energy and rah-rah was, and I don't think that the Dallas Flash bring that. I'm not going to name names.
I didn't predict a win.
No.
I'm just saying you literally went.
You said MLP is all about the energy, and Dallas does not have the energy players. They have the technically great players, good, above average players, but they do not have that energy and passion of one Ryan Harwood.
They do have a pretty active
fan base.
Their coaches, and then I don't know what's got into Georgia. MLP just brings out different sides of people, but
all right, we're gonna have to put a button on this here. We'll come back. Real Clear Stats.
Randy, never underestimate.
I've got to underestimate
the power of early rah-rah energy.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Never underestimate the power of early rah-rah energy.
We won't. Anything from you, Ben?
I need a drop in like 5 or 10 minutes, but
that's fine. Yep.
Yeah, sorry. I'll listen into some of the story. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think the Flash they've got a shot. I feel like they're a high ceiling, low floor. I could see them beating the Shock 3-0, but I don't think they're going to win the series.
Come on. Go ahead.
Nice, Ben.
Right, I'm going to come back to you for the reasons why. Lamont, you just ended a successful run on the stage down at LA. I'm sorry, Comedy and Magic. Is it? Can you give me the correct name of this down in Hermosa?
Is the Comedy and Magic Club in Hermosa Beach. That's my home club. So when I'm off of a ship, people always ask if I still perform when I'm at home, but I don't because I'm home. I'm off. But that is the one club that I'll go to. And so most Sundays when I'm there, I will go down and work with my friend Jay Leno.
Yeah. very, very nice hat tip to Jay Leno here. So you had, did Jay Leno steal your phone? What's going on here?
Yeah. So not last Sunday, so 2 Sundays ago, I was there and working with Jay. Now, at the end of the show, because I'm hosting the show, my job, in essence, is just to stall for Jay to get in his car and head home. Because if the show were to end and Jay's still in the building, then he would be mobbed by people that all want to take a picture. And Jay is very polite that he will not say no. He will take a picture with every single person and listen to what every person has to say to them. So for that sake, the club says, just stall at the end of the show, tell more jokes after Jay is done, and then Jay will let you know, we'll blink a light when Jay's in his car and on the way home. So I said, so that's the rule. Every time I do it, that's the thing. So it's fine. So I'm in the green room, and I was on my phone. I set my phone down, and I go out. All I do is I pass Jay. Now, I don't know what happens with Jay after he's done, because I'm on stage, and then I just know I get a light and he's on his way home. I'm finished. I get the light. I finish. I go back, and I can't find my phone. And there was another comic in the green room, and I thought, well, maybe that guy, because he was back here when I was back here. I don't know that Jay goes to the green room. I don't know if Jay just goes straight outside and goes into his car. But I go, my phone is here, and I can't find it. I got a watch that'll locate the phone. It won't. It says the phone is nowhere near you. I was like, wait, I just had it. So we kind of try to figure it out. We got to get a hold of the other comic. The club has to do it. My wife is with me, so we give the club manager her phone number, her cell phone number, and then I said, you know what? I'll just go when I go home. I said, because it's weird if Leno picked up my phone. That would be odd. Although I did tell them, I go, it'd be a great story if Leno picked the phone, but I did not think it was him. I didn't think it was him at all. So I said, I'll just go home.
One moment.
Go ahead.
As you get to the crescendo here, maybe don't say the house that it was across from, so we don't divulge anything.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Good point. So then I get, I say, you know what? I'm going to go home, and I'll try to locate my phone on the computer, whatever the Google is. You'll just try to figure it out from there. So I get home, and then I pull it up, and I see where it's located. And I go, well, that's Leno. It's in the Hollywood Hills. And I said, because I know the other comic. He don't live in that area. I know that. He doesn't live. He's not Hollywood Hills successful. Only one person could be Hollywood Hills successful. So I tell I email the club and say, Leno has the phone because it's in Hollywood Hills. And so then about 20 minutes go by, and the manager is texting my wife on the phone, and she then hands me the phone. And she says, it's Leno. He's about to call. So the phone just shows up private number, and I answer the phone, and he's like, hey. I go, hello. He said, hey, it's Leno. Do I have your phone? I go, yeah, Jay. Yeah, Jay, you have my phone. He goes, yeah. Oh, man. He goes, there was a lot going on, and they gave me food, and then I just picked up the phone. He goes, so where do you live? I'll bring it to you. I said, I'm near Long Beach. And he goes, like, where? I said, Lakewood. He goes, well, where's that? And I go, it's near Long Beach. He's like, oh, man. He goes, all right, I'll come down. I come down.
What?
He goes, here's the
Made
address.
Jay Leno drive all the way down?
I start giving him the address, and then I realize, I go, no, I can't have it. That's just a weird thing to have Leno come down and show up in your house and stuff. So I said, you know what, Jay, you don't have to come down. I'll just meet you at the club. Because that's kind of equidistance, even though it's not. It's still further for him, but still. I said, I'll meet you at the club. He goes, okay, that's fine. So he goes, I'm leaving now. And I get in the car, and then he calls again as I'm in the car, and he goes, I'm sorry, I had to do some other things, but I'm leaving now. I go, fine. So we get to the club. My wife and I go with me. We get to the club, and the club is closed, obviously. We were the last show there, so it's closed. It's the middle of the night now. It's like 11:45 at night. I'm in there for about maybe 5 minutes, and I see some lights flashing coming up behind me, and I get out of the car, and it's Jay. And so Jay showed the reason why we couldn't call Jay prior to find out if he had the phone on his way home is because the car he chose to drive was some sort of 1,000 horsepower. It's super loud car. So the manager goes, he won't hear the phone if I call him. So he pulls up. He's in a Fiat, and
Fiat.
he goes, yeah. He goes, I'm so sorry. I go, no, don't worry about it, Jay. It's fine. And he hands me the phone, and then he goes into his pocket and he pulls out $100. And I go, what are you doing? And he says, no, I insist. I go, no. And he goes, no, I insist. He goes, you got a family. I got you out of bed. It's my fault. I go, all right, fine. So take it. So then we just kind of exchange words about, stuff. And then we hug. Now we're standing in the middle of the street. It's 11:45 at night in Hermosa Beach. We're standing a black man is hugging Jay Leno in the middle of the street.
At least it wasn't West Hollywood. Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. Two people walk up and they're walking their dog and they go, is that Jay Leno? And then because Jay hears them and he's like, one night you're hosting this nice show, next night you're standing in the middle of the street and stuff. So he talks to them for a little bit and they're poking fun at the fact they go, of all the cars that you have, you drove a Fiat to get here? And he's like, that's the picking up groceries car is all it is and stuff. And so then, we just hugged, and then Jay got in his car, and then I got my car, and I went home. But that's kind of the cool story about the Jay Leno thing. So.
All right. Well, I'm going to finish with you,
Amazing.
Lamont. I want to know what you think of real stats in this sport we call pickleball. Ben, do you have anything to close with? Then I'll go to pickleball focus and Lamont.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the reflecting on the year, and I'm excited to hear to see all what goes on today. But reflecting on the year, it's been a busy year, but really exciting, and we've definitely grown and gathered a whole lot more data. We have over 500,000 human judgments that we've amassed. So that's really valuable in a world with capable AI models that we can build in the future.
Did you say human
Um,
adjustments?
human
Oh,
judgments.
judgments. Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, we're also hopefully going to break in with live stats on broadcasts at some point, and really want to try to advance the sport we love. It's such a great sport. It's such a welcoming sport. It's such a connecting sport. And these pro players are doing remarkable things that are harder to understand without statistical language to talk about. So we're doing our best to build that language. And I was happy to come on here and diffuse some data with you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you. Hey, nice callback to the diffusal.
Did we ever get your fives Ranchers pick?
Oh, yeah, let's get your picks here.
I don't know.
Okay, we'll come back to Ben.
If I want to pick.
Pickleball
It's a tough
focus.
pick.
Hold on, Ben. Pickleball focus. What's your pick? We got to get out of here. We got to wrap up.
I picked the fives and the five. I mean, I'm still picking the fives and versus the shock.
Oh, so you're having to walk away with the whole thing.
Oh, you're asking me who's going to win the whole tournament?
Well, no. Okay, so you're picking fives against the Ranchers, and then what? You have the fives in Dallas?
No. I just was dumbfounded that you just literally they weren't even in the conversation. But no, there's as much as I want Augie to win, I can't pick against the shock.
So we went through
just those
all that, and you're picking the team that I picked?
I don't know what to tell you.
Lamont, can you see what I have to work with here? Hold on, Lamont, we're going to get your picks here in just a second. Ben, what are your picks?
I didn't pick them to win. I'm picking the five. I'm still picking the fives to win the whole event.
That's what I said. Okay, pick up Ben. Go ahead.
I think we'll keep it interesting. I think there's a really good chance. I'll say I think we've got the Ranchers and shock in the finals. Ranchers take the finals too.
So you agree with me? Oh my God! An hour and a half, and they all agree with me. Lamont. Okay, give me your picks.
That's quite a job. You know what? I'm going with the upset. I'm going with the Ranchers in the upset. I'll go with the shock over. I'll go with the shock overall, but I'll go with the Ranchers in the upset. I like the idea of what you asked me about well, I'm going to say analytics because that's exactly kind of what it is with the stats and the analytics in it. Although, as I said, I'm a pro stats guy. I'm an anti-analytics guy. So I say it'll go too far if I start seeing a shift. If I start seeing a shift in pickleball, then I'll know that it's gone too far. But other than that, I like it. I like it being there.
Love it. Thanks, man. Great to meet you.
Okay, so just in summary, all three of you picked the Ranchers versus the Shock, and Lamont picked the Ranchers to win it all, and
No,
Randy.
Lamont picked the Shock.
Oh, so all three of you picked the Shock to win over the Ranchers, and
Nope,
Pay
I don't think so.
attention for crying out loud.
who did you, Ben? I thought what Ben? What's your?
Ranchers take it all against the Shock.
That's because
Is that what you think too, Randy?
That's because he's in cahoots with Matty Pickles. Ben is in cahoots with Matty Pickles. He goes over and plays at his
I
pickleball
can't
court.
confirm or deny. I reject the insinuation
That's
that
It's not
true.
insinuation.
This is true.
It's straight facts right there.
This is deep state. Randy, who did you pick?
I'm picking the Ranchers over the Fives. I'm picking the Shock in a cakewalk over Dallas. And then I am picking in a shootout dream breaker the Shock over the Ranchers. And the Bright takes it all. Hayden Patrickson becomes the new Ben Johns. See you later. We're right back, and you are locked on pickleball. Goodbye, everybody.
Wow, that was dramatic.